Okay, a ton going on right now from that video I posted yesterday, right? So much so that I was gonna post another video tonight when I got home, but I'm just getting hit up left and right with questions and comments and that kind of stuff. So I decided on my lunch break when I was working on some county notes anyway that I'd go ahead and make it now and get it out to people, right? So if you're going to watch or check out any of my videos that I'm making, or going to share it to anybody else that they have any knowledge about me, this is the one to watch and stay with, and this is the one to share, right? I'm going to talk about several different things here. It's going to be about a 10-15 minute video, right? So first and foremost, from now on, about every Friday, I'm going to put a new video out, because I want to start dealing in the specifics. You know, we're down to this runoff, and we only got so much time, and I think it's extremely important to me that the voters know something about everything about the candidates that's worth knowledge for their vote, right? That really matters to me. And I'll start with why this is so important, right? I think personally, based on everything I'm looking at, the numbers, the raw data, because I think facts are very important when forming your opinion, that the next 5 years are probably the most important of our next 20 years, right? And the county judge is a very strange and important position, right? So the county judge is the chief executive of the county, right? He is a member of the commissioner's court, which is the legislative branch of the county, probably the most important. And then he has judicial responsibilities. So the county judge hits all three branches of government in to me, arguably the most important entity of local government, the county, right? So it's a very important position. So who you vote there and who you put there is extremely important. So everybody should know that, and everybody should get out and vote. That is really what I'm after the most. This is a runoff. Whoever the people decide is their decision, right? As long as they're informed about it, and they should be able to know who they're casting their vote for, and not, well, I never talked to that guy, I know nothing about him, like we do with most ballots, most people on our ballots, right? There is a lot of discussion about the simple parts of Goliad County, or not the simple parts, but the lowest level of discussions for what is the county, the community, and that stuff. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down the way I see it, right? 3 levels, or 3 important aspects of it. I call it the 3 pillars of county and why I'm running, right? The first is the community, which is number 1. This is the strongest pillar. This is why we do everything else, right? Number 2 is resources, things like water, specifically when I talk about that. And then number 4 is logistics or fiscal responsibility, you know, the operations of the county, the services we provide, which all takes money. So we'll call it money, resources, and the community, right? Well, if there's no community, we don't need services and money and tax revenue. If there's no community, we don't need water, because there's no one here to use it up, right? Without water, we have no community. Without services, we cannot provide for our community, right? So all of these 3 things 100% play together on that. And that's where I go back and forth with when I'm talking about development and bringing in industry, right? And so let me be clear on that before we get into anything else, right? When I say we got to bring in industry, it's because 3/4 of our tax revenue to provide services for our community comes from industry and business, right? But if it's going to be very hard for us to bring in industry and business, right? Again, I've said in my other videos, we're probably going to get 500 no's. And we're not after any kind of industry no matter what. We're after the right type of industry, right? I keep hearing about the AI data farms and that kind of stuff, right? Well, here's the deal. If AI data farms, they may bring in billions of dollars for us. But if they come in and say we need a lot of water, then the answer is no. We can't do it, right? If they want to put in a bad spot, they say we got to put the AI data farm here, and it is a detriment to our community, then the answer is no. We just can't do it, right? We're not going to sacrifice one of the 3 for one of the other ones. That doesn't make sense. We want to be positive in this entire deal, not negative. So we don't want a short-term victory for a long-term problem. We can't have that. All right. Second thing I'm getting hit on a lot is we don't want the community to grow as big as Dallas and Austin or those suburbs that are around it, right? Realistically, that's not possible. We are not, Goliad is not set up to be that way. We don't have the resources or infrastructure or even reason for it to become that, right? Lockhart had doubled in size. It's like 17,000 people now. And I talked to somebody there that when they were growing up, it was 7,000 people. But it's 45 minutes south of Austin. That's how that happened, right? That's not happening in Goliad, Texas, right? My concern is, and here's the deal, and I'm going to give you a specific name. You know, Mr. Krennic is all over. If you go back and look at that deal, he is all over responding to everyone and pushing for no change whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you the truth on this. Dude, I love it. I freaking love his passion. That is the reason I ran. That the fact that people care. He really cares, right? If you break his thought process on this down to the lowest level, what he's concerned about is Goliad County changing, which is what I'm concerned about too. We just disagree on the reason that it's going to change, right? He thinks if we change anything, then we get away from any kind of small town stuff, then we're killing the small town and the whole town's going to die. My concern is if we stay stagnant the way things go, the town's going to die. So we fundamentally agree on something, and I can tell you right now, just by the way he's talking, he will die on this hill for Goliad County, which is what I love, baby. That's why we're doing this, right? I'm in the exact same spot. I will die on the hill for Goliad County if that's what it takes. That's the only reason I signed up to do this. There is a reason I waited until the very last day to put my name in the ring to do this deal, right? But I believe so passionately that this is important, and I have the skill sets to do it, that I decided to jump in and step up and do this deal, right? So I can't fault anybody for their passions about this stuff, and let's solve this with some conversations, right? I want to hear from everybody. Tell me why you feel this is going to be an issue so that we can move forward and affect this and come together. That's what it's about, is community. So if the community has so much issue with each other, then it's not a community anymore. And what are we doing any of it for? We just can't have that kind of stuff, right? We have to have conversations. We have to work through these things and talk them out and solve them, because we cannot stay stagnant, right? Anybody who's been around since COVID can tell you, and if you saw my chart the other day, these costs are only going to go up. If we're stagnant, we're not going to keep up with where that's going, right? And that's with everything. That's with our services, and only going to cost more. That's with our community. We cannot stay stagnant. You know, we got the Presbyterian Church right off of 59, the main drag heading through town, closed down, no members. I used to go to Rotary meetings. We filled an entire room. I went last week. We could all fit at one table, right? And so I guess the simplest way to break this thing down, because everything is connected, you know, let's just say we have 6 people. We've got a set of grandparents, we've got a set of parents, and we've got 2 children, right? They all grow up in a certain time at a certain point, right? And eventually the grandparents pass away. So we go from 6 members of the community down to 4, right? And then as the kids grow up, they move off and go to college or wherever, and they don't come back, right? So now we went from 6 to 4 to 2. And then eventually the parents pass away or leave, whatever the reason is, right? And we went from 6 to 4 to 2 to 0. We have to bring in more people to the community, right? The key is going to be, we want to attract the right people. We want to attract the right members of the community that agree with our values on this and are willing to die on the hill for the community that they're being a part of, right? I think this conversation and stuff like that is great. My fear is we're falling back into the same old patterns that we've had for the past 10, and in my opinion, longer than that, 12, 15, 16 years, to where there's so much animosity. We can't have conversations, right? And I just think people are so used to that, we can't have it. And so if you're dealing with me, if you don't support me, I understand. And I'm that is your opinion. I'm okay with that. All I'm asking for is have a conversation with me first. Let's talk for 10 or 15 minutes. Find out who I am, right? Not just because I'm not from here doesn't mean I'm a bad guy, right? I've got four great children. I've got a beautiful, amazing wife. I've served this country for 16 years. I've gone downrange 3 times. I've started businesses. You know, I'm a member of the community that does a lot in the community. My businesses donate a bunch. Like I do a lot. I at least have earned the right to have a 10-minute conversation with you before you form your opinion about me. That's all I'm asking for, right? And here's the deal. If you're supporting me and not supporting Mr. Bruns without giving him the same courtesy, then you're wrong, and you're not helping the system, right? You're making it worse for us. That's what the whole community is about. Everyone needs to be open-minded on everything. All right. I think from now on, again, my biggest concern is getting all the information out to people so they can be informed before they go vote. Right. So this is what I'm asking you. Pay attention to my videos. Talk to the candidates. Right. And then when it comes time to vote in early voting or on election day on May 26th, turn out and vote. Really get out there and vote. Right. And then if you select me to be your candidate, I'm going to ask you 2 more things. Turn me loose and listen, right? Stay informed on everything we're doing, because we will be transparent. We will put everything out. You will have ample opportunity to know what we're doing and be a part of our decision-making process, all right? And then number 2, keep me accountable. Keep the commissioners accountable. Keep the court accountable. Keep the county accountable. That is how we don't get behind, all right? Be a part and in the know for the decision, and then hold us accountable if we are not holding up to what we said we're going to hold up to. Because this is not hard. Local government should be something we are all involved in because it affects the community more than anything else, right? Everyone talks to me about transparency in relationships, right? And we're already starting that off wrong. It's not going to, I'm telling you right now, that is not going to be a problem with me. And even during this election process, we're going to stay focused on this. I'm going to hold true to that. If you don't know me, call me. I'll do the rest of the work and come and see you, right? That is important to me as a member of the community. I'll close on this last thing. I sat and talked to somebody the other day, right, who told me a story that had a big impact on me. And she'll know who she is when she hears the story, right, because I'm sure she's going to watch this. They moved here 26 years ago. Lived in Houston, I believe she said. We're trying to decide where to go. Went up to all of the surrounding cities and counties around it. Much similar to how Eric and I did it, going to Hallettsville and Yoakum and Shiner and Cuero. And ultimately decided on Goliad because of the community. And you know what that deciding factor was? They were walking around market days, met a member of the community who was just being polite, making small talk, and said, "Oh, you guys thinking of moving here? Well, you should meet the county judge. Here he is right here." And the county judge was out and around talking to the people, being known so people could talk to him and they can give their feedback and they could hear what's going on firsthand. That's what you will get from me. That's what you'll get from the commissioners. All the commissioners court and the commissioners I've talked to, everybody's on board with this path moving forward. Let's start it now. We don't got to wait until May 26th or November 7th or January 1st. We can start this right now. But it's everybody doing it. It's not just your elected officials. It's the members of the community. Across the board, there's only 7,000 of us. And if we keep going down this path, there's going to be even less. There's no reason we can't accomplish this goal. All right? Every Friday, I'm putting out a video to do specifics moving forward. I am available 7 days a week. If you decide you want to talk to me or call me or shoot me a text, I'm putting my phone number everywhere. Send me a message on Facebook. You know, the Facebook messaging going back and forth is when it gets convoluted. No one's getting the real truth behind that, right? It's too general. It's too vague, and that is not how local government and our community should be. It should be detailed in specifics. That's all we're asking, right? Be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right. Thank you. Have a good weekend.